name's Nicole Norris, and I'm a Creative Memories Advisor. And this is the introduction to my Hit the Road page by page recording the journey with Nicole scrapbooking course. How does this work? Basically, you go on my blog, you can see all the details and a list and everything that's included in the course. You pay for the course. I will have your supplies shipped to you. Make sure you pay attention to the items that are not included, like cardstock and basic scrapbooking supplies. And then I'll invite you to join a private Facebook group where you'll be able to watch videos that'll walk you through step by step, cutting out your workshop, how to read the workshop guide, and assembling each layout. And each of those, each layout and the cutting video will all be in separate videos so that you'll be able to watch them at your own pace in the comfort of your own home and work through them from beginning to end. So let's turn the camera around and show you the layouts in the Hit the Road page by page recording the journey scrapbooking course. All right, let's take a look at the 6 2-page layouts. So for a total of 12 by 12 layouts in this. This is such a fun collection that really is super versatile no matter where your road trip or vacation takes you. And this is one of those collections that you could split this up into, and the layouts up into multiple trips, or you could use the layouts all for the same trip, just depending on how many pictures you have, how long your vacation was, that type of a thing. So for the pictures that I have on my layout, it's actually split up from 2 different trips. So this first couple of layouts, these are going to be pictures from our trip to Las Vegas. Obviously, you're going to be able to change the title on your layout to work for your destination. And there's just a lot of fun elements on this layout. You're going to see this little wave cut up here. This is one of the items that is listed on the supplies that you will need that aren't included in your product bundle. How I determine what comes in your product bundle or not is your paper and embellishments, map pack cards, those type of things definitely come in your product bundle. What won't be in there is cardstock. And the reason is because a lot of us have a huge stash of cardstock. I do list the colors you need and the quantity. And this also helps me keep the cost of the course down. Because if I were to ship the packs of cardstock to you, let's say you need 2 sheets or 1 sheet of each color, I would have to charge you for like a full pack of 10. And so if you already have those colors and can pull those from your stash, awesome. And it allows you, for me not to have to order more cardstock and send you more cardstock than what you're actually going to need. So that'll help me keep the cost down for you. There are a couple of basic tools that you definitely will want. For example, a paper trimmer. I do highly recommend the Creative Memories 12-inch trimmer, and you can actually get some fun blades, and that includes this wave blade that I used on this particular layout. Now, one thing I want you to keep in mind, nobody is ever going to look at your layout and compare it to my layout. So, for example, if you do not get that blade or you use something else so that's a little bit different than mine, that's okay. That's totally okay. Also, you may need to adjust the photo mats, like the orientation or the photos a little bit to work with your pictures. For example, this 4x6 vertical photo could easily be switched out for 2 3x4 horizontal photos. And if you need to make those adjustments for your pictures, do it. That's awesome. Customize it to work with your pictures. All right, this is the first layout. Let's move on to the second layout in this course. I love how this layout turned out. It's super fun. Let me make sure I'm all in the camera. We do have a few Cricut cuts on this layout, and that is something I do use sometimes the Cricut. If you do not have a Cricut and don't use Design Space, just contact me and we can work something out. I could cut these images for you and mail them to you. for a small fee, just basically to cover the paper and the shipping costs. Also, I do use some tools in here, like for example, I use a Creative Memories Border Maker cartridge that's notebook paper to, actually, nope, not this one. This is a little embellishment. Never mind. I thought it was, but it's not. That's just an embellishment. So we're good. So the Cricut images, make sure if you don't have a Cricut, just let me know and we'll work something out to make sure that you can get those images, which these 2 circles here are from Cricut. All right. This is the second layout, super fun. I did do a little bit of inking and splattering, which I will show you how to do that if you're not familiar with how to do those techniques in the assembly videos, which there'll be a separate video for each layout, which allows you to just like work on one layout at a time. There'll also be a cutting video that will walk you through the workshop guide and cover all the cutting instructions in there. So here is layout number 3. This is still using pictures from our Las Vegas trip. We spent a day at Hoover Dam, which was super cool and fun. My husband and I decided we must be getting middle-aged because we really enjoyed the video at the visitor center that talked about the construction and everything about Hoover Dam. And my husband's like, I've become my father. I found this fascinating. So yes, we are those people now. Anyways, on this layout, I did use a lot of circles, which I used the Creative Memories circle cutting system. So that would be another tool that you would want to make sure you have. You could also cut these circles with other cutting systems like on your Cricut. So you will want to have some way to cut circles for this class. All right, that's 3 layouts. Are you guys loving it? Are you picturing your photos? This one's a super fun one. I love the road signs on here. And you'll also see that I went a little crazy with the black ink splatters. And there's multiple ways to create that look that I'll talk about in the how-to video, in the assembly video for this particular layout. On this layout, I did use this trio punch set that was these road signs. And they have actually, this punch has sold out. So if you do not have that punch, I will actually be mailing you an envelope with all of these punches already punched out for you, and I will be mailing that to you. And that's already been included in the cost of the class. So don't worry that you can't get that punch anymore. I've got you. All right, this is a fun grid pattern layout. And so there's definitely lots of pictures on here, which is super fun to highlight different moments on our trip. And then you're also going to see that I definitely always make room for journaling on my layouts. And I'll be showing you in the class different ways to add additional journaling, additional photos, give you kind of some more tips and tricks for you to use on your layouts. All right, here we go with layout number 5. This one was super fun using the road paper and the scene in the background and those road sign trio mini punches again. These will also be punched and sent to you separately in an envelope. And then lots of fun layering and pictures on this layout. And once again, you definitely can adjust and customize the photos on this to work with your pictures. This is where I switch gears on the last layout and this layout, that we are actually now in California, in Indio, and for Thanksgiving. So there was definitely a major road trip where we went from snow, I don't know if you can see the snow in the background of that photo out the car, and ended up in a location with palm trees and sunshine. So that was a pretty good change in temperature and scenery, in my opinion, because I love the heat. So, and this just shows you definitely can keep using all the layouts for one road trip, or like I said, you could split the layouts up into multiple trips and vacations. And then finally, this is the last layout. And one of the things I love about this layout is I really switched up the color scheme on this one, where there's no reds or blues in here. It's all yellows and grays and black and white on here. So really a fun layout to change up the color scheme, even though it all comes from the same collection. And honestly, it works great with that collection because all these colors are in all the layouts. I did use some Cricut cuts again here. These circles come from the Cricut. And then lots of pictures. I hope you noticed how many pictures that I do put on my layouts without overcrowding the layouts. And that's really, I think, an important skill to have and to so that your photos don't get lost and that they're really highlighted and the hero of each of my layouts. On this particular layout, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 photos, which is a lot of photos on a layout, but it doesn't look overly crowded and the pictures aren't getting lost in everything, you know. So I think that's a lot has to do with the fact that I used a white cardstock base on this layout. So, all right, those are the 6 2-page layouts in my Hit the Road page by page recording the journey with Nicole course. The next step here, if you want to sign up for this class, is head over to my blog. There'll be a link in the description of this video. Read through all the information and if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. And then at the bottom of the blog post, there is a PayPal button where you can register for the class. I will have the product shipped to you directly from Creative Memories. And then I will also be sending you a separate envelope in the mail with all your arrows and road signs. And like I said, if you don't have a Cricut and you need those Cricut cuts, be sure to let me know and we'll work that out as well. And I hope I will see you soon online in my virtual course. Thank you and happy scrapbooking.